over here watching this documentary for the first time in 20 years since Katrina happened, because it's still like I can only like watch it a little bit at a time. Like yesterday, I watched one of the episodes. I think it's 3 episodes. I'm trying to get through the second episode, but it's like it just brings so many memories from that time being in New Orleans. Because since then, because I was actually in New Orleans when it happened, when Katrina happened, I've never actually really sat down to watch any documentaries in regards to Katrina, because it is just so many memories, and it's very painful to relive those memories of like everything that happened before, during the hurricane, and after the hurricane. um like as far as for me, I was what, 20, about to be 21 at that time, and I already had made plans of what I was going to do for my 21st birthday and everything. But then I remember me and my cousin went to the movies. We get there and there's barely any people there, so they're like, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, something's got to be going on because there's barely any people here. So I went and asked. I said, what's going on? Why is there like nobody here? And they were like, oh, it's supposed to be a storm coming. And I was like, a storm? They were like, yeah, it's supposed to be bad. So I told my cousin, I said, you know what, let's go. And we left, and I told her, let's go get your mama, because from where they were staying at, I know that the area where they were staying at, it would flood pretty bad. So I was like, let's go get your mama and bring her to our house so y'all could stay over there so we could ride out the storm together. Again, not thinking that it was going to be as horrible as it was. So we went and got my auntie, and my cousin's baby was already at my house with my mama and my sister, because I used to go get her a lot. Her little baby was only 1 year old at the time. So I told my auntie, I said, go pack a bag. We'll be coming to pick you up so we could take you by our house, because it's supposed to be a bad storm, so we don't want you to be here by yourself. So she packed clothes for 2 days. And we like, well, why don't you pack some more just in case? She was like, no, I'm sure that by tomorrow, that after tomorrow, I'll be back at home. So that should be good. I was like, are you sure? She said, yeah. So I told my cousin, I said, get some more clothes for your baby and for yourself. So she packed a little more clothes. We left. We got to the house and we told my mom, he like, it's supposed to be a bad storm. And she had her car at the time. So I told her, just take your car too, just in case. We got to the house and I'm telling my mom, like, hey, it's supposed to be a horrible storm coming. Should we leave? And she was like, no, I'm sure it's going to, because the year prior to that, there was a storm that they had announced, and everybody started evacuating and nothing really happened. At that time, my dad was still alive. So he was like, when he came to the storms, he didn't play. He was like, we're going to leave. We're going to go back to California. So, but we didn't get that far because nothing happened. The storm didn't hit New Orleans, and that was in 2004. This one was 2005. My dad had already passed away earlier that year, unfortunately. So when we got to the house, I'm trying to tell my mama, like, we should go. And she's like, no, nothing, hopefully nothing's going to happen. We're going to be fine by the grace of God. Then the next day, that was Sunday morning, I believe Sunday morning, or I believe it was Sunday morning, when a family friend was about to go. And he was like, I know that your dad, is no longer living, but your daughter could follow me, because I know she just got her car. She just started driving. So, but we won't be able to drive fast anyways because of all the people trying to leave New Orleans. So she could follow me, trail behind me, and she'll be going slow. And if we have to stop more often, we could do that just so she won't get tired, because she just started learning how to drive. And I'm like, that's a good idea. My mom said, no, we're going to be okay by the grace of God. So he left. My mom started cooking, and we're going about our day. And then I told my cousin, like in the afternoon, we should go ahead and go park our cars on top of the Franklin Bridge, because I used to stay in the 8th Ward. And I was like, let's go park our cars on top of the Franklin Bridge just in case of anything. So we did that. We parked our cars at the very top. And I was like, if it does rain, they won't get flooded because they're at the very top. So we did that, and then we walked back to the house. And early that the next day, like around, I don't remember exactly what time because it's been so long, but I know for a fact you hear those winds, those horrible gusty winds and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden I see water sipping through the walls. And my cousin was slipping on the floor. I'm like, girl, get up because you're about to get wet. So she got up. And then my mom freaking out because the ceiling is like literally falling. Like in my room, the ceiling started falling, got on my bed and everything. And then my mom trying to leave during the hurricane, funny enough. And I'm like, you cannot leave. I'm the only one that knows how to swim inside the house, so you cannot do that because that would be too much on me. And plus, the winds are too strong. So she opened the door. She put one foot down because we had like 5 steps. Baby, that water rose up to like the third step. That was during Katrina. After Katrina, it went up more than that after the levee broke. And they kept releasing water on a daily basis. I don't care what they say. On a daily basis, you could hear the sound of those machines when they were releasing more water. Every afternoon, they were releasing water. That's why the water kept rising. Instead of going down, it kept rising every single day. So she came back inside of the house. And then after the storm was over, of course, there was a lot of water, but you could see the water like kind of going down that afternoon. But guess what? After they started releasing or the levee broke, the water started rising up to the point where you got to the fifth step, like almost coming inside the house. Plus the ceiling falling in my room to where we had to go sleep in the kitchen. That was the only part that was like not affected. So everybody had to go to the kitchen and sleep on the floor in the kitchen, and it was hot. On top of that it was so uncomfortable. The heat was unbearable. So the next day, I cannot sleep in the heat. The next day, I got up early, and then I went to walk around, see like how can we get out of here because this is too much for me. I told my cousin, I said, let's go see what we could do to get out of here. So we went, and then it's getting too long, so I'm gonna have to do part two.